For decades, people around the world have displayed a range of special powers and abilities. These powered beings came together and built superpowered cities to thrive in. My name is Angus, and I'm a journalist for the Daily Deposit. My partner Sal and I interview the citizens of Super City, investigating incidents and exploits, and helping where we can, holding the powerful accountable. Because heroes don't do paperwork. Okay, you got all your pencils and your... Is that a typewriter?
It's a typewriter.
It's exactly a typewriter. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's a mechanical typewriter.
No,
so it's got like cherry key switches, which are already loud.
Yeah, that's going to be
typewriter frame, which is even louder.
Okay.
Listen to how egregious this is.
Yeah.
You hear that?
It is quite loud. It's quite loud. I'm sure the listeners are going to love that.
Carriage return.
Yes. Okay, good. Starting off strong. Okay. All right. Remember, starting off on the right foot. Starting off with fresh new. Okay.
Right, fresh. Let me just put a new piece of paper in here.
Sure.
All right.
Is that construction paper? It's so loud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I do like the sound of that. Okay. Hello, super citizens, and welcome to Heroes Don't Do Paperwork, the only podcast about events both big and small in Super City. I'm one of your hosts, Angus, joined by my co-host, Sal Bedfellow. How you doing, Sal?
Well, I'm enjoying being a journalist.
That's right. Of course, Sal and I are both journalists now here at the Daily Deposit. Sal, how are you liking the new job?
It's good. A Daily Deposit was very generous to offer us jobs as writers with no experience.
With no experience.
I'm very excited to get started on our first assignments.
Totally. So just to catch listeners up, Sal and I, we've been gone for a while. We are back. And, we're leaving those stuffy government jobs behind. And we have become journalists. We've become messengers for the people, deliverers of truth. And I'm really excited to get this off, get this show on the road, get this going again. And I'm actually working on a pretty interesting story, Sal. My first big article.
Do tell.
It's about a class action lawsuit that's being launched by one of the many districts of Super City against their local amusement park.
Amusement park?
Yeah, amusement park. Yeah. I had to double check that too, because I was like, oh, okay, so it was like a fun amusement park. Maybe there was an accident, but no, it's an amusement park, which I wasn't familiar with. It's called Tragic Mountain, and these people went to this park to indulge in safe and family friendly, like haranguing and abuse. And they didn't really they ended up having too much like wholesome fun, like too much fun. Like it didn't go far enough for them. And they've launched a class action lawsuit against Tragic Mountain. So it's about 150 people have signed on currently for this. And they're just citing all the different rides and how they were fun and not uncomfortable in the slightest.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's these kinds of injustices that we can now aid in correcting by getting the word out.
Exactly.
I too am working on my first special assignment.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to be starting my own column.
Your own column. Oh, cool. Okay. That's cool. So yeah, like I guess our newspaper, like I'm just going to be picking up stories kind of where I have, but you want to have like a regular themed column. Well, that's really cool. Like what were you thinking about writing about?
God, you're starting to sound like our editor.
Ed?
I am still, trying to feel it out. I've been trying a couple of different things on to see how they fit.
Okay. Well, why don't I grab? You've been typing on that typewriter all morning. Let me grab a couple of these papers and just see what we've got here.
Oh, you don't need to.
Oh. Okay. So you just. Oh. I see. This is like a test page. You were just testing to see if each key worked.
That was yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That wasn't my final draft, of course. That'd be.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. It's like kind of like yeah, and then all work and no play makes Sal a dull boy, just over and over again. What's
that one was when I was trying something and I felt like I was really making some progress, really hacking away at it. And
this wasn't a test.
Well, yes. It was.
Okay,
This
gotcha.
was
That makes more
another.
sense.
And then the other ones are just various musings. Some may call it like a manifesto, but ultimately it didn't bear fruit. I'm still trying to find my angle.
Yeah,
I'm
you
still
got to
trying
find
to
your
find my
voice.
voice.
I get that.
Exactly.
Well, maybe we can talk it out a bit and kind of figure out what, like what Sal's voice is. Like, I don't know. You're a guy. You like rules. You like order. I'm trying to think like what. Oh God, yeah. I don't.
I'm a very partial to walking in parks.
Okay.
Um, could that be? Do you think
Could
there's
that be
something
a
there? Yeah, you think that could be a column? Just
well?
like me talking about things I saw in the park on my
Things you
most
saw
recent
in the
walk.
park.
Yeah,
I
park peering.
I think maybe I think that's a great first idea. Maybe we can spitball a few, just throw a shotgun approach, a few more ideas out there, and then maybe we'll gravitate to one. Park just seems a little like, I get it. That first article, it's gonna be great, beautiful day in the park, but then that second piece, like what is that? Like, is that just gonna be the same park? Because you kind of have your park.
Yes,
I don't know if I've ever seen you walk in more than one park.
I already have a park I like. I don't know. I'd find another.
Okay, well, it just but you see what I mean. I think you're gonna run out of material pretty quickly
Mm,
for this column.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. It was stupid, anyways.
No, oh,
Um,
buddy, no, come on.
no,
Oh, no, don't slide your typewriter off the desk. No, just keep it there.
okay.
It's this. We'll get this. It's just, it takes a bit of time. Look, I
Yeah.
made dozens of podcasts before I made this podcast. Obviously,
Really?
my best work. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I made like 7 or 8 podcasts before this, and just they didn't work. It was a lot of just me, no guests, no co-host, just kind of musing on different things, and sometimes you got to admit to yourself an idea just didn't work.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Okay. All right. You're right.
Okay,
The,
so
the
just
park idea was bad,
it's
but I will think of other better ideas and I'll come up with something good. I've already got a great idea. What
okay.
if I were to write a column, about the trials and tribulations of writing a column? People love that kind of
Okay, yeah,
self-referential
yeah.
journey type stuff, right?
So I would say, just, and this is, once again, I don't want to be too critical here, because I want to flourish I want to help these ideas flourish, but
Right.
that's like, if that's your first that's your first thing,
Hmm.
um it would be like, you don't necessarily have the experience of writing a column
Right.
before dissecting what it takes to write a column, and then I feel like you're just in this weird Ouroboros of this column eating its own tail. You know what I mean?
Oddly enough, I do.
Yeah.
So Ouroboros is a pretty deep pull, but no, I'm there with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, okay,
Hmm.
okay. Well, I don't want our podcast to be a podcast about the trials and tribulations of writing a column about writing a column.
Exactly.
That's I feel a little too much.
No, that's just, we're dangerous levels of meta there. So let's just keep, just, how
We'll
about,
keep a tab on this. We'll
you've
revisit
got
it
you've
next
got
episode.
yeah, you've got your typewriter. If you've got any ideas during this episode, well, okay, the typewriter's a little noisy, just maybe jot them down. If you get an idea, we're gonna have a guest soon enough.
Oh, sure. I'll get out my ink quill.
And actually, this might be the perfect time. Let's take a quick little break. You and I can maybe spitball a few more ideas, and then when we come back, our guest will be here. Okay?
Excellent.
Yeah, I think you're gonna like this guest. I got us a pretty cool guest, pretty cool topic of conversation. Okay, just that's it. Okay.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Hi everyone, I'm Tong.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Laura.
And we are
Disney Dummies!
Look, we know there are Disney superfans out there, but even the superest of fans could still be Disney dummies.
That's why the three of us are on a quest to watch every single animated theatrical release in chronological order, from Snow White all the way to whatever's out right now.
We dive into each movie in detail, talking about fun facts, talking about the animation, hit you with some hot takes, our favorite reviews on the internet.
We even talk about who fucks.
I still can't believe that's an actual segment.
So join us every second Wednesday for another episode of Disney Dummies.
And Pixar pals when we finally catch up.
Yeah. Brought to you by the fairy tale whimsical depths of the pod cavern.
Welcome back, listeners, and I hope you enjoyed a word from our sponsors. If I had a word for our sponsors, it would be thank you.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, exactly. Did you come up with any more ideas while we were? So you were typing away there.
I tried to do like a little word cloud.
Oh, cool! On a typewriter?
Yeah. But the problem was I got so caught up in trying to format it that I didn't actually make anything of substance.
That's okay. Hey, I've been there, brother. Been there. Okay. Sometimes you make the spreadsheet before you put anything in it. I get that. It's okay. All right. Well, I've got us a guest. Let's drop the column for now. I find maybe we just won't think about it. We'll get struck by a lightning bolt of an idea later. It'll be good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I've got a great guest with us here today. Let's welcome to the show Sue Hushins, a sleep consultant from Super City. Sue, welcome to the show.
Good day, gentlemen.
Wow. Hello.
Hello.
Your voice is very soft and calming.
Thank you. It comes with the territory of being a sleep consultant, as you can imagine.
Wow. Yeah. So I guess I just want to get our listeners. Thanks for coming on the podcast. I just want to get our listeners a better understanding of what a sleep consultant does. Lots of people in Super City have different bodies, different powers, different temperaments, all these different things we've got to take into consideration. One size fits all for sleep here is not the case. People need unique consulting, and that's something you specialize in. Would you be able to maybe tell us a little bit about your work?
Absolutely, Angus. So, what the research is showing is that most people, residents of our great city, are not getting adequate hours of sleep. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And sleep deprivation really affects every bit of our being.
Mm-hmm.
So, my niche, if you will, is meeting one-on-one with concerned, sleep deprived residents. And as you said, putting together a holistic approach that each of them can follow to make sure that they're getting their REM.
This is actually great. We have some marketing research that shows the primary readers of our newspaper are paranoid individuals that tend to stay up late into the night, poring over the pages, trying to find conspiracy theories and connecting little red lines of twine to other lines to make the bigger picture. And that realistically, they could probably just use a good night's sleep. So
we didn't realize what the main reader base for the Daily Deposit was before we just immediately jumped into this. And yes, we've realized we've had to kind of sensationalize a bit of what we write to kind of appeal to these paranoid weirdos. But yeah, what would you say? I know, and like I said, it's not the same for everyone, but on average, how much sleep should someone be getting?
Oh, everybody should be getting a minimum of 7.5 hours.
Wow.
And sometimes when there is superpowers in the mix, people tend to not prioritize those 7.5 hours, if you will. Instead, going and gallivanting around the city. Twine, of course, is also a very popular thing for people for many different reasons. So what I'm really doing is just trying to get the word out there and, of course, meet with people one-on-one to get them sleeping.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're gonna love this. First of all, I get tons of sleep. I get on average 12.5 hours of sleep a day.
Oh.
I am a real sloth when it comes to sleeping. Now, the issue Sal and I have been having is we've recently come back from interdimensional travels. You understand these things. And a bunch of time passed, and we no longer have a home.
No.
Our apartments are gone. Our vehicles are gone. So
Mm.
Sal and I have been sleeping in sleeping bags in various parts of the city until we find somewhere new to live. Now, what I find is sometimes we have to move a lot. So Sal is generally dragging my sleeping bag around so that I can get some, get that extra 12, get that extra bit of shut eye that I need to function. So is that healthy?
Right. I suppose everybody is unique.
Mm-hmm.
What's very important, and it seems like you have established this, is that the place that you sleep should be your refuge. Now, generally, that is in a bed, in a room, but not everybody has that luxury. Of course, there is some of our comrades that enjoy sleeping upside down in caves. Some of our comrades would prefer to, of course, sleep in bathtubs, fully submerged. So,
There's even a new trend I'm hearing about where some people prefer to sleep inside out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just take
wow.
themselves and they turn themselves inside out. And then the
yes,
inside part of them sleeps while the outside part of them is out.
Wow.
that one especially good for coping with your emotions.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. You spend a little more time
Anger,
inside.
absolutely, gluttony, all of that just
Mm-hmm.
really is
Mm-hmm.
able to breathe in that inside out position.
Now, I mean, I don't want to ask for your your services for
Mm,
free or anything like that, but maybe
mm.
we could do a quick test consultation with Sal and I, and we could maybe kind of show the listeners a little bit of what it is you do.
Sure. Just a quick, Sal, just quick sidebar with you. Angus, can you look at me
Mm-hmm.
for just a second?
Sure.
Hush. Fantastic. Sal,
Yes.
I've only been here a short period of time. I will note, and excuse me if this is too soon, that Angus does a lot of the talking here. And is that possibly because of the amount of sleep he is getting while you literally lug him around the city? How are you feeling?
At times, it can be difficult to express myself through the podcast medium, but this is something our viewers rarely get to see while listening to our podcast. Is that Angus doesn't really talk much outside of the podcast. He really clams up. He's
Sorry,
he
one second,
he,
one
he
second. Sorry, it's just 1 second, Sal. I think he's having some apnea. Just 1 second. Hush. There we go. Okay. Continue, Sal.
I was saying that yes, Angus really only comes alive during the podcast, and then the rest of the time he's a little tiny baby bird. He doesn't really say much except when he's hungry. His little peep peep peeps when he's hungry. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, it's the darndest thing. I'm always surprised when it's podcast time because he just seems to lighten up, and I let him go loose because really I'm the chatterbox otherwise. But if I may, while we're in this sidebar, I'll get a
Mm.
chance to talk before Angus wakes up again. Um, you have an uncanny ability to put others to sleep and seemingly control their sleep. Am I on close here?
Ding ding. Sorry. Just 1 second, Sal. Angus, hush. For someone who gets an average of 12 hours of sleep, I don't know how good that sleep is. He seems to have severe apnea. I will
It's
say.
true. Angus will make so much noise while sleeping, but you cannot
Mm,
wake him. I have once dropped a book on him accidentally, and it didn't even phase him. It
right,
was
right.
disturbing.
Fair enough. But yes, absolutely, Sal. Exactly. I am a sleep consultant who also, I mean, what are the chances can put people to sleep? It's
You
not
know
a
what?
curse. It's perfect for my line of business.
And it seems so interesting, and Angus would be very mad if I continued this conversation about powers without him being present.
Mm, mm.
If you don't mind, if we could reawaken Angus. I'm sure he'd love to participate.
Absolutely. This was really just to check in with you, okay? And I'm glad we've had that settled. I'll just go back over here. Swink.
Wow. Sorry there. I just kind of a little bit of a brain fart, just kind of blacked out there for a second. What was I saying? Yeah, I like to ask this question all the time on the show. Sue, do you have like a superpower by chance, or would you feel comfortable sharing that with us?
Of course, of course. I mean, it comes with the territory of my job that I need to disclose right away that I am a sleep consultant who can put people to sleep.
Oh my
Oh
God!
wow,
This is such a surprise.
that's amazing, isn't it, Sal?
Yeah.
Oh my God, wow.
First time I'm hearing it.
Mhm.
I just like to see, you know, as someone who I don't, unfortunately, I don't have a superpower, or at least not one that I'm aware of yet. Maybe it's podcasting, right?
Clever.
But I thank you. I love to hear what other people's powers are and kind of how they influence their job. So that seems like a really handy skill to have. Tell me, do the people you put to sleep, like, do you have to kind of come by and wake them up all the time, or how does that work?
Oh, heavens, no. No. Can you imagine if
Yeah,
I would just leave people in deep slumbers across the city and
that would be
do with
terrifying.
their belongings
Hmm.
whatever I want. Like, imagine if I could put someone into sleep so deep
Hmm.
that I could just parade them around like a marionette and they would have no idea.
I do have to say that's a very lovely fur coat you have. Is that
Thank
real?
you. It is. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. And
Yeah.
those rings, I assume, are all one on each finger. I assume those are all real too.
Yeah, thank you for noticing.
Hey, no
I
problem. No problem.
have work is good. Like I said, a lot of sleep deprivation in this city. And consulting has been fruitful for me. Mm.
Well, that I'm so great to hear that's going well for you. Like I was saying, you know, I get, like I said, about 12 and a half hours of sleep every day.
Mm.
But Sal over here, you know,
Mhm.
the workhorse that he is, he's probably, Sal, how many hours would you say you're averaging sleep wise?
4.
Four. And I
Oh.
would say I'm awake for those 4 hours generally. Sometimes there's a bit of overlap. You're not very restful.
Nope.
Um,
Generally speaking, I don't do much throughout the day, so I don't expend much energy.
Mm.
And so I don't really have much energy to recuperate in the evening. So,
mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
Now, this is, if you don't mind, just
mhm.
me going ahead, putting on my consultant hat here. When you say your friend isn't restful, what are we exactly referring to here?
Okay, well, and Sal, I, you know, if I'm oversharing, you just tell me, and we will cut this out of the podcast. Sal will grumble a lot in his sleep,
Mm.
um, and because of Sal's superpower, he attracts a lot of things, and they kind of cluster around him. You know, like when you get like you're camping or something like that, and you're sleeping on a rock under your lower back, and it's just you can't sleep well. Sal constantly finds him in that situation, right? Right, Sal. Your power is, of course.
A gravity belt, a field of gravity around my waist.
Mm.
There's other issues that come with it, and specifically in the activity of sleeping. I'm always tangled up in my sheets.
That sounds terrible.
Um, there was one time where I had a slipper on, and it got knocked off my foot, right, and then
Oh
Mm.
yeah.
because of the acceleration, it got caught in my gravity field, and then it had a bit of like a use the gravity field to whip around
Mm-hmm.
and pick up
Slingshot.
some
Yeah.
slingshot, from exactly what it is, slingshot maneuver, and then I got a slipper in the face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
It's
Very
just these kinds of
interesting.
things.
Now you're a fantastic case for my services, I must say, because not only is your power very clearly making you uncomfortable, but I would imagine that days and days must feel different for you too, right? Like a human knows the day because of the rotation around
Mm.
the
Mhm.
moon, correct?
Yep.
Yep, 100%.
Yep.
In this world.
In this world,
100%.
yeah, we for those of you that don't live in Super City, haven't been up on the news, the sun and the moon have recently switched places. And the sun is very close to Earth right now.
Yeah.
It's probably why it's so hot out. And I assume it's not really our problem anymore, right, Sal? We're washing our hands of it, but hopefully the Superhuman Action Response Team will deal with it. Hopefully. But yes, we're rotating around the moon right now, and so it can be hard to tell day from night. And Sal, sometimes you have particular trouble with that.
Yeah, well, I consider everyone that is not me to be a moon, right? Everyone literally revolves around me from my point of view. And so, yes, it can be tricky at times because maybe one day I'll be walking in the park, let's say, and Angus is with me, and I say, oh, it's not supposed to be Angus o'clock. My time's all screwed up. One time I went to a breakfast eatery for dinner, and
they threw you out.
That set me off.
Yeah,
it was a scene.
Yeah, so, it was dark times.
Sue, I think you've hit it right on. That my gravitational field is indeed screwing with my ability to perceive the flow of time.
Is there anything you can do to help, Sue? Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, please. Actually, could you just take it back? That would have been the perfect soundbite there. So we could just
Yeah, totally. Now, Sue, is there anything you can do to help Sal out here with his sleeping problem?
Listen, probably not.
Yeah.
I must say that is a tricky case.
That's a tricky one.
I would have to step away, which is difficult, Sal, because you are currently pulling me close to you.
Through the gravitational field, I'm not getting handsy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's
Oh heavens no. Oh heavens no. You have incredibly short arms, Sal. I'm just realizing that.
I do have incredibly short arms.
I imagine that's an evolutionary trait so that your hands aren't constantly getting caught in the field around your waist. I've never really commented on it, actually, now that I think about it. Is that...
I have abnormally short arms. I have an extended range of hips. And all of my flexors, any muscle group that you would flex, outside the range of my gravitational belt. Fun fact, it is impossible for me to bend over at the waist.
Really? I guess I've never seen it. Thinking back all these years now, I guess I've never seen you do that.
If you were to categorize it medically, it'd be called bending over at the thighs.
It's very unsettling.
I love that we're all coming to these discoveries together. As I was saying, though, it would be tough, Sal, to do a full diagnosis, put together a plan, come to your place of sleep. Normally, I would say house, but place of sleep, and really get to the bottom of it. But I'm sure there's a price point we could work out. Just 1 second, Sal. Sal, if you don't mind. Hush. Fantastic.
Oh my god, is that the power that you just did that?
Rumble,
yes.
rumble, rumble.
Yes,
oh,
yes.
See, there it is.
He has immediately gone into deep REM sleep.
Wow.
Currently, his mind is energizing.
Rumble,
and every time I put someone into sleep, it actually, every minute of sleep is actually 5 minutes of normal sleep. So you can do a shorter sleep. Angus, do you feel energized and rejuvenated right now?
You know what? I actually kind of do, and I was attributing that to your kind of calming presence that you really bring to the show, and I do. Yeah, I feel very energized.
Would you be interested?
Almost like I got 13 hours of sleep.
Would you be interested to know that for a portion of this, you have been asleep?
No way. I was asleep? Wow. Oh my God.
That's why I had both of you sign that form earlier.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Of course, I would never.
I didn't read it. But
I would never put someone to sleep without their consent. So.
No, of course, absolutely.
Throughout this chat, you at one point were deep into REM, and now that's why you are revitalized.
Well, I feel great, honestly. And if I could have these services all the time, I could get by with like 6 hours of sleep.
Oh,
That's
exactly.
oh, okay. See, this is one of the night terrors. I don't know what it is that he's kind of battling there in his brain, but I think it has
Mm,
something to do with, disorganization, the general chaos and entropy of the universe, big concepts like that.
that's
He's he's
fair.
yeah, he's having a rough time.
It does seem like you two have the world on your shoulders.
It feels like that sometimes, to be honest.
Mm.
Now,
Hey, that's a really nice paperweight.
oh, this one?
Yeah,
Uh,
is that a little crystal inside it?
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
crystal orb that
Mm-hmm.
Sal and I
Just
found.
1 second, Angus. Just go hush.
Yep.
Gonna grab
Rumble, rumble,
that.
rumble.
Oh.
That's a nice pen. Mm. Ooh, paper clips. Fantastic. Okay. Swick.
Oh, oh, hey. Sorry, just another one of those one of those brain fart things. Sorry. Yeah, Sue, I
Mm.
and correct me if I'm wrong here, or sorry, tell me if I'm going to crossing a boundary here. But what's your sleep like? I find a lot of people, they spend so much time looking after others that sometimes they have a hard time looking after themselves. Are you getting enough sleep these days?
Oh, what a kind and thoughtful thing to ask, Angus. I have to say, because I follow my own tips, meditation,
Mm-hmm.
avoiding caffeine, and setting up a refuge for myself, for my sleep quarters,
Mm-hmm.
that I get a solid 7.5 every night.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
Wow.
can't even
yeah,
imagine.
No,
yeah,
God.
Now,
yeah.
Sue, you have talked a lot about a proper sleep sleep ritual. It
Mm,
almost sounds like
mm-hmm,
meditation, cutting out negative energies, negative sources of energy, and
mm-hmm,
also setting up what you call a refuge. That all seems like a lot of work, like a
mm-hmm.
lot. As it stands, I'm barely finding time in the day to fit in 3 square meals and
Mm-hmm.
lugging Angus around while he sleeps on his sleeping bag.
Yeah, it's true.
What would you recommend? What would you say to those who are having trouble sleeping? What's to prioritize there?
Well, I would certainly prioritize sleep over 3 square meals. The thing about food is that it's really more of a mental addiction than sleep, which is really.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of the hierarchy of needs?
Yes.
I haven't.
Sue's hierarchy of needs
Oh,
specifically.
No.
There are different versions, but
okay.
so just imagine here. I'll draw it out for you. So here's a
Okay.
triangle. Okay,
Okay.
at
Yep.
the very top of the triangle, which is the most important,
Okay.
uh, I write the word sleep, and
Okay.
then I
Right.
color the rest of the triangle in because it's just
Gotcha.
sleep. It's just sleep. That's
Wow.
it.
Interesting.
That's the hierarchy.
Okay. Hmm.
Hmm.
It's a good visual to have at home beside your refuge,
Now that it's in front of
in
me, I
front
can
of your
see. Yeah.
fridge. Um, eh, sometimes if you just if you have a child, for example, just go ahead and draw it directly on their face. So when you see them and they start demanding things from you, you remember, hey, have I slept? And then you focus on sleep.
Sal, I've actually
Hmm.
been seeing a few of these kids walking around. I thought it was a cult. There are these kids walking around with the triangle on the forehead with
Hmm.
sleep written above it. I thought that was a cult. That was your teachings. Oh, that's so cool.
Yes, yes, and let's not use the C word.
No, oh God, no, of course. Of course, yes. That's why I
Certainly.
thought it was one of those. And it's clearly something more.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's something more. Indeed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, wow. Huh.
I don't mean to keep stealing the microphone from you, Angus.
No, please.
I have one more question.
Please go ahead.
One more question. Sue, you seem to, based on what we've read about you and what you've talked to about us here, you've had a long career in this consulting business. What would you
Mm-hmm.
say is the hardest client that you've had? What was the hardest nut you had to crack?
That's an excellent question.
What was the densest pillow you had to fluff?
Ooh, one more.
One more.
Yeah.
What was the hardest fitted sheet you had to fold?
Nice.
Ooh, I do enjoy that one. I would have to say the underwater ones tend to be quite difficult because it does require me to be in a scuba suit for much of the consultation. Also, maintaining a specific quality and temperature of water, it's a fine line between comfortable and sous videing.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, I get you. Yeah. Wow.
So I have lost a couple
Oh no.
clients. But it's all settled now. And I have definitely I have that under wraps. Good to go for all of our aquatic all the aquatic clients. If you're aquatic, I want you, is what I say. Yeah, but getting back to here, I'll just hold it up again. I'm so thrilled that you've had me on today. I'm just going to hold up my triangle again, and I just really hope that you know that if you too picture yourself in this triangle, kind of right at the bottom, having had good sleep and see the light of what I've been telling you, if you could get a couple people interested.
Okay. Interested in joining this pyramid.
Yeah, gotcha.
Interested in my hierarchy of needs here.
Yep.
Then they tell a couple people, and then they tell a couple people. Then that's how we're really going to bring the truth of sleep to the masses, if you will. And what a more a harmony-filled, peace-filled society we will have in Super City.
Yeah. Wow. So maybe Sal and I, because we're still trying to decorate our kind of our little office right here. Would we be able to keep this piece of paper with the triangle? We can show it to people maybe and kind of.
Absolutely. Here, do you want me to sign it?
I would. I mean, I would love that. And I assume, how much should we pay you for this? I guess because if it would feel weird taking it from you for free.
That's true. Do you have cash on the premises?
Yeah. Sal and I have been saving up a little nest egg. We're finally going in on an apartment. We've got we're actually going to check out a couple places tonight, so we can start working on that.
Awesome. Where's the cash around here?
Right here in the little lockbox between our feet. Password 0101. Just so we can both remember it.
Wonderful. Hush, hush. Yeah. Well, that's gonna be wonderful. Oh, $100. Great. Okay. Cool. Okay. So wake.
Oh my God! It's just been so refreshing talking to you.
Yeah. Don't worry about payment today. I'll just sign this. 1 second. I'm just going to pick my thumb, sign it in blood.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
While I'm at it,
the real deal.
Angus, can you come towards me? Wonderful.
Yeah, of course.
Triangle on your
just
forehead.
drawn a little on my forehead. Oh, that's really nice.
Sal, triangle on your forehead.
Wow. It's hotter than I was expecting. It's kind of
sleepy with you. Sleepy with you.
Oh, thank you, and sleep also with you. And a good restful.
Great.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Wow, Sue Hushins. I mean, honestly, we've been Sal and I have started a new phase of our life. We're trying to not be taken advantage of like we have been in the past. And I feel like, looking after ourselves, getting that sleep is a great way to kind of get the ball rolling on this new chapter of our life. Right, Sal?
Yeah, I feel more empowered to take my sleep into my own hands. And I'm ready to be rested. I'm ready to be more awake. And I'm ready to seize the day.
Yep.
Or the night. We're still not really sure what to label it when the moon is high in the sky.
Yeah, we're trying to figure that one out. But thank you, Sue, for coming on. Do you have anything last you'd like to say to our guests before you head out?
just that I'm looking forward to meeting each and every one of you. And wait, sorry, was this recorded?
This is recorded. Yeah.
100%.
Right. Fantastic. Just realizing I might have said a couple things. 1 second. Hush. Editing software. Get rid of this stuff. Cool. Erase my tracks. Sweet.
Oh God, it's just so refreshing talking to you. I really appreciate you coming on. So just thank you so much. And we'll be sure to get the word out about the Sleep Susan Hushins hierarchy of needs. I'm into it. I'm loving
my
it.
little disciples. I love it.
Thank you so much. Sal, I think we did pretty good. I think that's going to do it for us here at Heroes Don't Do Paperwork. Remember, for those of you listening at home, try to do the right thing.
Bye, Sue.
Bye, Sue.
Which is sleep.
Which is sleep. Which in this case is sleeping. Yeah, get plenty of sleep, listeners. Yeah. I actually did like that part where you were talking about the park, me in the park with you. So I don't know. Maybe I was wrong.
If I had a nickel for every time one of our guests drew on my face with blood, we'd be this much closer to renting an apartment.
That's true. Yeah. We'd have a couple of nickels for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much that happens.
Hey everybody, Angus here. As always, Sal Bedfellow was played by Matthew Wally. Susan Hushins was played by Chelsea Fahey. Chelsea's a stand-up and improviser in Ottawa. Chelsea and I both teach and facilitate at the Improv Embassy. If you live in Ottawa and want to give improv a try, look us up online at improvembassy.com. If you like the show and want to support it, or any of the other shows on the Podcavern network, head on over to podcavern.com and check out our merch store. We've got lots of cool hats, hoodies, t-shirts, stuff like that. Anything you buy there helps us keep the lights on here. Thanks for listening.